You know what's fucking crazy is I tested out the mic on Sunday. I know I did this shit in a minute, but when I tested it Sunday, I realized how loud it was because I was walking through the convention. I'm like, bro, they could well, one, like noise concentration, they could barely hear the surrounding stuff. Like you have to be real close just to hear someone's conversation. Like, it'd be like people yelling and shit. So every now and again, you have an individual yelling, and you could catch the conversation what they were saying. But in general, for me, every time I felt the need to speak up, because I give you an example, be like a car or a truck passing by, in my ears personally, it sound hella loud, but it's not even that bad. You know what I'm saying? And the simple fact that it wasn't that bad, I'm over here, I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm over here raising my voice. But yeah, man, I'm over here raising my voice, and from the fun, I didn't need to be that loud, bro. Basically. So, what I'm saying is like, I got this 50-minute video. I got this 50-minute video dropping on Wednesday, and if you're finding this video later, hopefully you go and check it out. I went to my first ever Sakura Con convention, Sakura Con, Sakura Con, however you want to say it. It's Sakura trees, Sakura. That's how you say it in Japanese. I'm assuming, with each syllable, Sakura. But everyone just says Sakura. But yeah, man, that shit was dope, man. It was overwhelming as much as it was exciting. It was pretty cool. Whole lot going on. So I wasn't able to go live from Friday to Sunday. Well, I was able to. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't. I think I was just more consumed with being present with the convention itself, and also being present with the surrounding people that I was with. My guy, your boy, came in from out of town, and he was kicking it. He was kicking it with us from yeah, he was kicking it with us, bro. Basically, he came from Spokane, Beyblade in Spokane, Beyblade in X Spokane, like that section in that area. But I hadn't did these in a while. I was like, I might lose a bit of consistency, but nonetheless, get the ball rolling again, get back to just creating. But it's gonna be so much stuff. I was trying to do like an hour's worth of content for that convention stuff, but it ended up being about 50 minutes. Like I started trimming all the fat. I was like, there's a lot of unnecessary stuff that's being said, a lot of unnecessary stuff that's being filmed, a lot of just whatever. What's going on, Cash? What's going on, Cash? How's it going? And it's like, I remember, like just going through it. I was like, I had about, yeah, no, the con was pretty good, man. Con was real good, and I was in there like trying to trim out all the fat of like what I was recording, and I'm like, man, I gotta make sure this is good because I wanted it to be an hour long. That's what I was going for. I was like, what if I can make an hour long thing about my first Sakura Con? And then I ended up trimming out everything. I was like, it's only about 50 minutes, and like I just settled with it. I was like, less is more. Less is more. Teresha Butler, thank you for dropping in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. What's going on? Where's the baby at? See the crows yelling at me? Where the baby at? It's springtime. It's springtime. Teresha Butler, I got the sun in my face, so I can barely see it. Barely see the thing. My bad, my bad. But yeah. Z, what's good? Z was over there. Oh, Z, man, since you're here. Luke, thank you for dropping in. Z, how did everything go, man? Because the guy seemed a little concerned when we put the room back together. But hopefully everything was good on your end, because I know you set that up. I don't know why Luke retracted saying hi, but okay. All right, Luke. Thank you for being here, nonetheless. But yeah, hopefully everything was good, because we tried to move as quick as we could, set that thing back up, and then hopefully everything was great. So hopefully there was no issues on your end, because you helped us with all that. Later, Z set up the whole. If it wasn't for him, I don't have Sakura Con. Realistically, a little worried. Yeah, me and Luffy tried to fix that shit, and there was one other actual organizer with the lanyard. Like he was an actual worker there, and he was kind of helping us out. But that was about it. 3 or 4 of us, and then a few other people here and there. But yeah, you can try dropping by again for tabletop next Sunday. Also, the connection is dying. Oh shoot, really? There is a plane overhead too, so I'm maybe. Hold on, let me double check something. It says I got 2 bars, so it should be fine. But let me know if it goes back through. These fucking dead zones over here. What's crazy is I literally showed your boy. Your boy was in town, and I was like, bro, just come with me. I'm gonna drop my backpack off at home, and then I was gonna go with him his last day, grab some food so he can have some money. Excuse me, some food on his trip back to Spokane. And I literally showed him my house. I was like, bro, this is literally the building I'm telling you about that they built 4 stories high, blocking my reception and connection. It also blocks uphill what would normally be the where the towers are at to get my reception. So it was kind of crazy. It was just kind of crazy. Yeah, I haven't done a live since Thursday. Literally, my last live was me standing in line waiting for the badge, just trying to get to an hour. I was like, let me just stand here for an hour, and I just stood there for about a good, I don't know how long it was, 40, 50 minutes. And then even then, it took another 40, 50 minutes to get to the front of the line, something like that. So it took a while. Big Cash, yeah, you missed out on Sunday. Sunday was fun. Sunday was cool. There was a lot of new people that came there. Line was nuts. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, and some of you guys like stood there longer than me because I was there for maybe hour and a half, 2 hours, close to 2 hours, but about hour and a half. And like, I'm like, how is this not moving? And then as soon as I got to the front, they're like, yeah, don't worry, it's just the printer broke and all that shit. I'm looking behind me. I'm like, all these people are gonna have to wait for that printer. That's crazy to think about. But all these people right here are gonna have to wait for that, you know. But yeah, man, that's a whole nother conversation. Cash, you got to come out on Sunday. We're just testing out combos. There was someone who actually was using some CX bays, and he has some really interesting setups. Some Drown Brave and Arc Wizard setups. Pretty cool. People just testing out different stuff. About like 4 new people showed up for their first time. So yeah, that was pretty tight. Saw pics of last Sunday. I was tired from work. I'm about to be tired from work again. Oh yeah, but I'll trick through just for some bays those Sundays. And or this Sunday. Yeah. Also, I got your first paycheck, meaning you're finally gonna get some. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. How was that work stuff going, man? It's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that, man. I'm happy to hear that, Cash. Yeah, I haven't done a live in so long. I'm kind of like I'm moving. Like today's one of those slow days. Like I'm gonna move as slow as I can. And yeah. Oh, Z, bro. Z. It's kind of funny, Z. So there's like a lot of clips that I had to trim out for my vlog, and like a lot of it was me panning to the left, panning to the right, and it would show your face. So I would cut it out right before it showed your face. And then same thing when like our guy Gameblade, he was Blader Y, and like I was panning to the left, and I accidentally saw a shot of his face. I was like, pause. I saw his face in the frame, and I'm like, oh shit! So I had to like trim it and then take him out of there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Gameblade, shout out to Z. I think Morris was in there on accident, but he wasn't really in the full suit, which is hilarious. No, no, I can't do it, bro. We gotta protect identities. He said it's all good. You can show the face. Nope, my bad. But you said nice. You're gonna talk to them this Sunday about seeing at ranked tournaments on Sundays. Yeah, bro. Z is if you guys don't know, Z is an organizer and a judge, I believe. I think he's both. Metro 9. Am I Metro 09? Yep. What's up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you dropping in. You're going to be getting another new job, actually. Oh, okay. This one will be full time. It's a shame, though, because of this current job is kind of. Oh, I see what you're saying. I know. My other one was pretty good. I ain't going to lie. The last job I had, it was decent. Like, I couldn't complain, realistically. But it's just the people there were just pissing me off. So I was like, yeah, I'm really about to fuck someone up. So I had to leave. And it was just that time. It was just perfect timing of me to leave and experience all this freeness and stuff. So kind of, it all kind of works out. I'll say that much. It's gonna have to be exposed in your video. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Judging the finals without the mask. And so there's a clip right that I have where it's like you're going, all right, everybody, 3, 2, 1, go shoot right in the hallway, and then like, you know, I'm walking behind you. I'm literally walking behind you, so the shot is like behind you, back of your head, and then I go like over your shoulder and film it, and then I cut it off, and then I go into the side. So I don't know if I showed your face on the side. I got double check. I hope not. But I'm protecting the identity, bro. As far as me, I don't know shit. I don't know nothing. Like, who is that guy? I don't know. I just met him. I'm just be making shit up. I don't know. I never met him before. I just seen him with the mask. I don't know. Still need to make a WBO account under PS2. I think you still can. I'm sure there's another person close to our age or my age that what was I gonna say that played the PS2, so I feel like it's taken, which is gonna kind of suck. Oh shit, it's gonna kind of suck, which makes me I'm crossing the street. Oh, so yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to even with the videos, I'm trying to stay to the lore, like the whole anime lore of not knowing who's who and whatnot. Yeah, worst case scenario, you can just say it's all a diff guy. That's true. This is also true. Also, people look back 5, 10 years from now, they're gonna be like, in order to really see his face, you would have to see this footage. But yeah, you say you appreciate it. Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Not literally PS2, just something referencing it. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I wonder if I'm trying to think what that would. Yeah, trying to think of something. I almost grabbed a coffee, but I don't need it. I'll think about it on the way back. It's almost like a pastime to grab one. Later, as he exposed himself, though, that's crazy. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's crazy because there's so many cameras out. It was almost inevitable. And then, like, Morris normally doesn't walk around with his mask either, or the helmet. So it's like that's kind of tough. And then I have like footage of him. There was also I had a good shot of like you battling someone in the middle of the tournament, and then I kind of panned outwards, so then you could show the helmet, which is pretty good. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Shit, what was I gonna say? Sorry. PS2 is just your Discord name, and I'll make it unique with PS2 in it. I see what you're saying. PS 2000. I don't know. Nobody steal it. Oh yeah, nobody steal it. Are y'all buying that 1K mask on Etsy? You kind of want one yourself. There's a 1K mask. So they developed their own. They did like arts and crafts thing with the X and the Z, and then Y. Gameblade did Y by himself. It's a very excited dog. But yeah, there's $1,000 mask. That's kind of crazy to think about. It's not impossible to think about, but it's kind of crazy. But yeah, they did it themselves. Like if you see the, I don't know, you might see a few clips in the pictures of events, and you'll see like how they did it themselves, how they carved it out and shaped it out, and then put like well, I guess I don't even know the specifics, and even then I wouldn't reveal it. But yeah, they did a really good job on the mask. Even Gameblade's mask was less quality, but even then it was like really good. Almost alright, fuck it. Really good. Turned out really good. Someone custom mask or something on Etsy. They did it for Baytuber, and last I checked, it was 1K. Mr. Chicken, what's going on? How you doing, Mr. Chicken? Yeah, I always be sitting up here. Sun is at an angle, so I think we're all right. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, man. I guess. Oh yeah. So back to I guess the topic at hand. There is a thin line between hate and logic. Normally I try to say what it is in the beginning of the lives, but I thought about this morning because I was listening to a local rapper, and he was big in like 2004, 2005. Right now, so Mr. Chicken, I'm just chilling right now before I go to the library. Got to get one live in before I get in there. You know what I'm saying? But there's a thin line between hate and logic, man. It's really interesting because I was listening to this shit and it was really inspirational to me. But mind you, I listened to his shit 4 or 5 years after he was like blowing up or whatever. So anyway, long story short, I remember referencing, and again, this is why I'm really happy I'm not in the workplace. I was referencing his shit to some guy who was like locally within the hip hop scene, but he was in my workplace, so we worked together, and he was just hating on him and talking all this shit, and he was saying something weird about like, oh yeah, which he's like a privy kid that went to college and all that, and I'm like, bro, I know kids in the from the neighborhood that are like from more wilder hood conditions, where they ended up going to private school, got accepted to college, and some people made something out of it, some didn't. So it's like the education thing is not a thing, bro. And it's like on another aspect, I know him and I know his actual family, and like they were, him and his mom were out there in the streets collecting bottle caps and like bottles and cans to recycle to make extra change, to make extra $5 here and there. And you want to sit here and disgrace someone like, oh yeah, he's a rapper with he went to college and dropped that. Like it's like who gives a fuck? So it's like, again, the guy who was telling me this shit, he was a former, I'm in the hip hop scene kind of thing, but he's very smart. Don't get me wrong. Like I learned a lot from him, but I also learned how much of a hater he was. So I was like, yeah, there's this thin line between hate and logic. I use him as an example because as smart as this man is, here he is, as smart as he was around people that were in the hip hop scene and like doing tours and owning stores and selling vinyl and all that shit. Like just being salesmen and being close to people who were label representatives, other producers that became more famous than him. And it's just like DJs who became more famous than him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Keep going down the line. And the interesting part is like, as much as you knew all these people, as much as you were around it, here you are at this 9 to 5 doing some entry level job shit. And it's not to shade anyone that's doing a job. But what I'm saying is that as much as you knew these people that were like really deep in the game and they're more famous than you, I'm not saying that you deserve their fame or their wealth, but here you are at this job with us, and all you're doing every day is hating why you're fucking here. Because probably during the time when you were just able to be an artist, you were a fucking hater. Dude was just being a fucking hater within the midst of all that shit. So it's kind of funny where I'm just like, I thought about it. That's like one individual. There's multiple people I keep running into where I thought about like even when I was young and like being around the whole music scene and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm meeting people that like they seem like they're into the competition of battling people, whether that be like who got the best beats, who can DJ the best, who can battle rap the best, things like that. And like I didn't really care about a lot of that shit. I just cared about the music. But even in the midst of all that, you run into people who are kind of just like they're hating. And again, there's a thin line between hate and logic because a lot of people's logic is like, hey man, I'm here for the battling. I'm here to represent and make my name what it is, and do that. Come to find out, in the meantime, some of them are actually just straight up haters. Some people gas themselves up but could not deliver. So I started to see this in these 20-year-olds. Again, I was around the same age, and then to meet this guy in like his 40s or 50s or some shit, and he was a hater. I'm like, damn. So you've been hating for 30 years? You're gonna run into some people, guys, hating for 30 years of their life, just hating on people. They're in the scene. They have all the, they have all the resources in front of them, around them. You know what I'm saying? They choose to be a hater. They choose to be like, and it's one thing to be competitive, but it's like it's another thing to not honor your opponent, and it's another thing to not like whatever respect whatever someone else is creating, etc. So it's just crazy to me, man. Like I thought about that shit this morning, where I'm like, I gained so much information from people, but it's like, but you learn from people who are more or less dysfunctional or whatever, you know, who are not of, they don't hold your best interest. You'll start to find these things, man. It's a very thin line between hate and logic, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I say that I'll put myself out there, bro. You gotta go. All right, keep it up. All right, Mr. Chicken, appreciate it, bro. Um, it's really interesting, man. So I say that for myself too, where it's like if I ever come across as like someone who gets some, I talked to your boy about this when he was in town. I was like, I myself am a victim of my own logic. So I'm subject to it, and I'm able to get in my own way as well. Just being logical about stuff, about, I think about other people's success, and I'm like, whether it's success or finances, it doesn't matter what it is, but like, nonetheless, if they're getting somewhere in life, I think about the privileges they had and what they've taken advantage of whether it's people around them, and I say that in a good way and a bad way, them taking advantage of opportunities and people around them. It's like, you know, you don't want to. This is why the core of all of this is to not measure yourself to other people. You know what I mean? You don't want to measure yourself, so be careful with that, guys. That's why I say I put myself there too, where like, I can be in my own way, logically. I can come across as this hater or someone who hates people, which may be true at times. Maybe I'm thinking too much about something and I start feeling a bit of hate. But I will say, like, the same way I'm calling out these people and these old heads that are just been hating their whole lives, I'm like, hey man, I'm not above that either. You know what I mean? So I have to constantly keep myself in check. That's why I say this shit out loud and I put it out there, so that way if anyone wants to call me out, like, hey man, you're kind of a hypocrite. I remember you saying this back on April 22nd, 2025, and yeah, remember you said that shit. I was like, okay, yeah, word. All right, I'm gonna embody that. I'm gonna take that into account. My bad, Cash. He said there do be people in this world who live to hate. Yeah, they'll eventually get what they put out in this world with interest. It's really interesting. I got done watching a podcast or something the other day. I think I was listening to it in the background, and someone was saying something about like, you ain't doing nothing unless you got, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing nothing right. And I'm like, I think there's a bit of truth to that, because there's a thin line between love and hate as well. I'm just using the word logic because it's like, you know, some people are logically smart enough to not hate. I'd like to say I'm in that category, but again, I'm not above. I'm not above whatever. I don't know the word I was looking for. And it's really interesting because I think you see that with sports all the time. People are hating on the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors showed up to the finals how many years in a row? 4 or 5 years in a row. people are hating on it. Like, I'm getting tired of seeing these guys. But I went in like after a while when they stopped showing up to the finals. People were like, I kind of miss seeing them. I miss seeing Curry over here busting threes and Draymond fouling people. Like, so it would be a whole thing. The same thing happened with Tom Brady. It was like, damn, I kind of hate seeing Patrick Mahomes. I kind of miss when Tom Brady was running the AFC. So it's always some shit. But it's like, but in the time period it is happening, people are hating. So that's what I'm trying to say is I'm very mindful of like someone who's hating at me in the moment. I'm kind of like, you know what, bro? I understand what that is because it's like I'm not trying to win you over with love, but I understand that over time you're gonna realize how much you actually like give a damn about me because you gave a damn about me enough to hate. So maybe hopefully people learn to give a damn about you to love you, etc. And that goes for like regular life. It doesn't have to be nothing with music, Beyblade. It has it can go farther than that. People just hate on you just to hate, and they really don't. They have a hard time examining themselves. Is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I said that to say when I meet someone who was like says that they were 19 and 20, you know, digging up vinyl and trying to learn how to be a DJ, and then they knew this person and that person. I'll leave names out of it. They knew all these people and they knew all these names, and then here they are 20, 30 years later. You know what I mean? No longer chasing their dreams, or no longer able to hold on to or sustain it, which is fine. But they're a little less passionate about what they're doing now. They practice it less now, and they just hate on the people they used to know. And here they're at a 9 to 5. That's what lets me know. Like, at no point did you learn how to love through the process of hating. You understand? That's the biggest issue right there. Is like at no point did they learn that. One time you had a hater who stalked you on Steam, of all places. That's crazy. You have to be a dedicated hater if that's your method of getting to people. Bro, I had I'll tell you a funny story, and like maybe some people seen it, maybe they didn't. I had so this is a girl I used to date, and like she's my ex. But I told her, I was like, she got so toxic to the point where I was like, you know what, man. I let her know, I was like, listen, I'm only fucking you at this point. If I call you to hit you up, we're just fucking and that's it. But I don't want no more relationships with you. Like you don't understand shit that I'm saying, and you've done a lot for me, but you're doing everything but what I'm asking for. And what I'm asking for is just simple respect. So it's like when you're giving me everything, like all these gifts, all these stuff, and I'm like, but you're not giving me respect. I'm like, that's where I draw the line. You know what I'm saying? Because some people will milk people like that. They'll be like, oh shit, she's buying me all this shit. Like, no, I'm not one of those. But yeah, I'm always leaving comments about my art on like game screenshots of all things. It's yeah, and that's what's crazy. But anyway, so with this girl, I posted a vlog of me in Austin, Texas, and I took a day trip with my cousin. My cousin's a female, so I took this day trip with my cousin, and like I remember, me and her just walking around. I'm showing her all the food spots, so I'm taking her all of my spots in Austin, Texas, like a barbecue spot. I'm taking her to the comedy club because we went to go watch Donnell Rawlings. Shout out to Donnell Rawlings, man. Get your mind right. He was tripping on the fucking on the roast, my guy. All I can do is tripping, bro. What the fuck? I love you, Donnell. Donnell, I shook hands with him. I gave him a hug and everything, man. I love you, Donnell. This motherfucker right here. Yo, he's tripping, man. Like, see, this is also why I stopped drinking, but that's just me. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing, man. But yeah, I'm posting this vlog, and like my cousin is in a lot of the videos and a lot of the footage and the shots and the frames, and she's talking. And then, I forget that like my ex is following me, or subscribed to me on YouTube. So then she starts commenting on like all of the shorts. No, excuse me. There's one short about the Austin, Texas trip, and then there's a video about the Austin, Texas trip. And then she's over here, bro. She's over here leaving a dozen. Like I can't make this up. I have all the screenshots. There's like a dozen or like 20 comments on it. Like, oh my god, I hope you have a good time with her. Oh, I hope you guys are good together. You guys look good together. Oh, she's so big. Tell her to go jump in the lake. Oh, you're like just thinking I'm taking a trip with another girlfriend or some shit. And she just keeps on commenting about my cousin. I was like, this is my family member, right? So that's my cousin. She's no, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And then I started showing her pics. I was like, you remember when I sent you this picture last year when I went to the restaurant to hang out with my cousin from out of town, and then my other cousins were there? That's her in the background. I circled her face. I was like, this is her. Like, what the fuck? You're over here disrespecting family. And then she at no point did she apologize or take accountability for her actions. And that'd be like that, man. Some women are like that, where they just feel right. And she's like, yeah, but I guess if any woman saw you with another woman, they would act like this. And I was like, yeah, they wouldn't overreact this way over an ex's bullshit. That's one. And then two, it's like you still haven't apologized or took accountability for your shit. You haven't, what I mean? I think you kind of owe her, like you didn't say this to her face, but you owe her an apology. You owe an apology to me for talking about my family member like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling her all this shit. You don't know how to apologize. I was like, bitch, this is why I just fuck you. That's it. I don't, ain't no reason to be in love with you. I'm just doing my little thing and I'm out. We could hang out a little bit, whatever, but you waste my time with this shit, I'm not fucking with you. So there's people like that, man, where it's just like, again, the way like the way her mind goes into this logical state of like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's that, and it integrates with the hate. It's crazy. Oh, Eternal, thank you for being here. Eternal Light, my guy, quick high and like heading. Oh, and like heading to work. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a great day today, man. Hopefully you get some sunlight too over there. I don't know what it's like or what it's looking like over there. But oh, Eternal, send me your Discord if you can, man. I commented on one of your stuff. Let me know if you saw my comment. Let me know if you can find me. But yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's really so it's shit like that that like it'll get under my skin a bit. But I'm also like, it is what it is, man. These are who the people are. This is who they are. Excuse me. And I kind of just accept it for what it is. I don't want to say like I didn't try. I think with certain people I tried with them, but at the other end, it's like I don't know, man. Some people want a reason to hate you, but they really love you, and that's like one of my biggest examples. Is like this is literally like I still talk to her, like I still text her. You know what I mean? There was a time where I blocked her, and then I unblocked her because I had read. Excuse me, I had like watched a vlog about some snowstorm. Oh no. Oh shoot. No, I saw the ice bucket challenge. I just thought about that. Damn, that's crazy. I thought that was like an older video, but that makes sense now that there was still snow out there. That's crazy. Yeah, sometimes I want to move to Canada, but I forget how cold it gets up there. I'd be thinking about that a lot. Also, shout out to my guy Solarian. I was telling Solarian that I wore his hoodie at Sakura Con on Sunday. So Sakura Con, I wore his hoodie. I had like it was like a hue of blue. It wasn't really necessarily blue. It was more like navy, kind of like a navy bluish, but not really like dark navy. Yeah, people doing ice bucket challenges in 2025. But you know what's crazier? It was like in the snow. Like they were in the snow, so I thought it was like an older video, and then I guess that's what he's confirming is that that happened like yesterday, which is crazy. Like you guys, they ice bucketed in the ice, bro. That's a different level. I'm not on that level, man. But yeah, man, it's interesting. I had watched this video where someone was breaking down, and he was saying it in terms of relationships and just in terms of people in general, because he has family members that are very toxic. He said, "Man, I'm not gonna lie, I don't block nobody." He's like, "Why is that?" He said, I'll be honest with you, like when you block someone, it's like you're kind of admitting that you can't deal with them. And like I like the challenge of knowing that I could probably deal with them. So I just let them keep contact with me and I try to handle their shit. And it helps me become a better person when I handle their shit. And I thought about it, I was like, you got a point. I think like if you're at a mental low, if you're at a mental your mental capacity is not at the threshold you think it should be at, and you're at a low, you shouldn't let people egg that on because they will. I've had a friend that like I hate to say this, I had a friend that like there was some friends that he really trusted, but in those same friends kind of like in I don't want to say it's like a thing, but it's like they they force his suicidal ideation or whatever. Like this is the way he explained it to me, so I don't know how this works necessarily, but I'm like, okay, that's interesting would like that would like incite that in him. You know what I mean? Like you had actual people you trusted that would force that out of you, but there are people that really will. So he had to block people. He was at a low, and I think for me, I was at a certain low too, where I just needed to talk to people that actually love me. I needed to get back to that base that really would check in with me and like just check on me weekly and stuff like that, daily, weekly, however you want to put it. And it's really interesting because like at that time when I started to kind of rebuild myself, the interesting part was wait, not if it's a bot or like people would throw away. I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's interesting because like when I had the right amount of people that would check in on me, I started to kind of re-strengthen myself, and I was able to unblock people. And when I realized I would allow the same shit come my way and text me and like interact with me, I'm like, okay, this doesn't bother me as much anymore. This doesn't bother me as much. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a little stronger now, whatever. So, but like I think to kind of keep up the strength and to keep that kind of flowing, um, as in you should be blocking bots and obvious. Oh yes, yeah, right. I think like, and so the thing with my phone too is like my phone, if I don't have you in my contacts, you get sent automatically to voicemail. And it's funny because I actually have a few friends that like I have a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I have a lot of friends where I've actually deleted their names. Like they're no longer in my contacts, but I keep the text thread just in case they reach back out to me. Because a lot of times it's like I realize if I'm doing more reaching out and speaking to them than they are to me, then I realize it's kind of a lopsided relationship. So I kind of delete their contact. I don't necessarily block them, but like I do keep the text thread. So when they do reach out, I'm like, oh, this is so and so. It's like why? I wonder why they want to talk to me now. So I have friends like that where like I'm trying to help them a lot, and then out of nowhere they reach out, and then they're kind of hitting me with the trying to help me out, and I'm like, ain't shit you can do. You know, it's not. I'm not trying to be funny. It's like not much shit they can do for me. It's just like, bro, I don't think they understand the weight of this relationship. Where it's like I've known you, and you're younger than me. I've looked out for you, and I'm not saying that they can't help me. I'm like, bro, when I'm just like sitting there looking out for you, you don't give a damn, and then when it's your turn, it's like all of a sudden it's all about you. So that's when I kind of draw the line with people. So I don't know, people who make it all about themselves, you got to be careful too, because certain people that you help, the fact that you're helping them helps them feel like the center of attention, and then the moment that they get a chance, they want to make it all about them doing for you. Like it's just it's a weird. I don't want to say it's toxic, but it's a weird thing. So you got to be careful what kind of energy you give to people. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's a longer deep dive. Again, that's the logical side. It's a longer deep dive. It's not as important as some other shit. But yeah, it was really interesting because oh shit, what the hell? We were talking about like this crazy ex, and like I keep in contact with her, but it's just like the fact that like I was able to handle her shit now that I was just in a better place, felt better. You know what I mean? Like I was just in a better mindset. I was like, okay, you know what? There's something about she's literally doing the same thing. Like she's literally leaving these 20 texts, 30 texts at a time, just all like bullshit and just like, disrespecting people and all that, disrespecting people that are within my vicinity or like what I may or may not be doing and things like that, things of that nature. And it's just kind of crazy, bro. It's just like, all right, this is just who she is. And I allow her to be who she is. And I meet her halfway. And sometimes I make fun of her about it. And then the other thing was sometimes I would screenshot it. And because she would be into like acting and plays, when I'd see her in person, like whether it be at work or just somewhere else, I would just read. I was like, remember this, and I would read the screenshots to her, and I would do it like in a very what's the word I'm looking for? I would do it in like a very his name that wrote Romeo and Juliet, Shakespearean tone. So I would read back her, I would screenshot all of her like negative and toxic text, and I would read it back to her in like a Shakespearean tone to kind of make dramatic, exactly. So I would do like a Shakespearean thing. I would do it like it was a play. I would do it with energy, and I would read it to her, and she'd be sitting there cracking up, and I'm like, see, I don't Shakespearean exactly, and I'm like sitting there like trying to figure out like, bro, it's just funny because it's like that's the thin line between hate and love. It's like she did all this hating in the text, and it's just like honestly, if I read it back to her, she's gonna have to examine herself, and she feels very bad and shamed about it. Not that I'm trying to shame her. I'm actually trying to make light of it. I'm trying to make it funnier because it was a lot for me to digest reading this bullshit. But then at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna let this eat me up. So I'm over here doing it in a very comical Shakespearean way, and it's just like she's over here examining herself. Like, I really said that? I was like, look, it's right here. And if I go to the text thread, it's all there too. Went to the text thread, it was all still there because I don't delete shit. I'm like, listen, it's just funny evidence to have, and this is just who you are. And I would always make fun of her. I was like, look, I don't know if it's you or if it's like another personality living in your head because she loves taking selfies. I was like, maybe it's the personality that loves looking at the selfie version of yourself. Like, I don't fucking know. But to some people, it's more of emotional roller coaster for them to deal with something like that. And I'm like, there was a time period that it was for me. I can be honest and say that. But right now, bro, it's like you come at me with. That's why you see people in my live that try to troll me, and like the people who troll me in my live, bro, like I just meet them halfway. I'm like, all right, you want to be funny? We can all be funny right now, and I can make fun of you. But the amount of time and energy you put into being a troll, and the amount of time and energy you put into trolling with others in the live, is like when you guys find a way to. I was like, when you guys find a way to team up together in that basement that you guys are dwelling in, and put some content together, put some creations together, let me know. Let me know when you can put that same energy into something productive. That's where I always meet people halfway. Like, listen, I'll joke with you. We can fuck around and joke around and shit. But other than that, it's just like, let me know when we get there. But yeah, people need to remember that everything they say is public, some way, somehow. Yeah, I mean, anything, almost any and everything you say out loud is public information. Like, you can even be talking to your friend or whispering to them. It's just like your phone is still listening, which is crazy. That's another crazy aspect, online or even through DMs. Yeah, that's the other aspect. I think about that too, because like I remember we have these group texts, whether it's like whether it's like from family stuff to Beyblade to whatever, and like the family stuff, I'm not even really in the text threads anymore. But it's like whether it's like the Beyblade group or just like other online stuff, like on Discord, bro. There's like people that I talk to, and then I'm just kind of just warning them, but I'm very careful with my words. I'm like, hey, be careful because so and so is going to be entering or dropping in our community. Just be careful because just be mindful. Last time they were here, they were very toxic. Last time that they were here, They were very unaccountable for their actions, and hopefully when they show back up, they're apologetic this time. And we have these conversations, we have things, that's within my DMs, right? That's within the group text and whatnot. And I'm not going to give out specifics of the names or whatever, but even if it does ever show up, people can look back and see how I wrote it, and I try to be as respectful as I can about the person that we're being mindful of. So I'm just very mindful of stuff like that. It's just like you go through it enough times as a kid. That's the other thing, is like you go through it enough times as a kid, you don't really do it anymore as you get older. But some people don't grow up the same way some people don't grow up from hating. It's really weird. Some people grow up and they just keep being a hater. It's like, damn, I guess all of your issues, like the same dude I was referencing, right? His fucking it's just sad because like I remember I would just talk to him about stuff, and then like every time I'd bring up a woman, he would reference how dangerous women were and how conniving they were. And I was like, man, this guy's really thinking about his wife every day, but just in the worst way. But it affects how he treats and sees women throughout his whole life. And some people are like that, man. Some people are like that with like a race. Some people will deal with a certain race a certain way, and they just think that's what it is. They're like, damn, that's just how they be. You know what I mean? But it's like you deal with enough people of the same fucking race. Like I guess that would make sense. But it's just like some people just carry that hate wherever they go, and they haven't grew out of it. As much as they meet new people, as much as they meet yourself, as much as they meet me, it's fucking crazy, bro. And as smart as they are, they can't get past that thing. Like I'm telling you, man, a lot of people's logic is in their own way. It's the craziest shit. It's fucking crazy. Like I just don't understand it. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation, man. Like I said that to say, like I really like where life is going right now. Like this is it is a really good time. It's a really good time because I'm doing the Sakura Con stuff. I had the Sakura Con convention, my first one I went to, and like the vlog, excuse me, is gonna come out tomorrow, 5 p.m. It's gonna drop. But I wanted to kind of address what was on top of my mind, and hopefully this information kind of helps out people that may or may not need to hear it. Like I don't know, I'm not claiming to be the most helpful person, but I'm doing my part of like speaking about a personal life experience and then how it affected me and how it felt for me. And that's kind of where my truancy hour stuff is going right now. And I'm trying to do as many lives throughout the day as possible. Like I said, I haven't done nothing since Thursday. Here we are after the weekend. I'm over here just trying to get back on the flow of creating things and doing things. So I appreciate everyone dropping in. Thank you guys for being here, man. I appreciate everyone that dropped in on this live. Thank you for being here. I'm still gonna keep going. I got another 30 minutes, or so to just chop it up. So anyone dropping in and out, man, if you got any questions, etc., it's usually me and Cash. Matter of fact, while Cash is here, let me check something out real quick. Yep, there it is. Cash, go ahead and send me a little note real quick. Like, just go ahead and send me a little text. But it's really interesting. It's usually me, Cash, Z, like my guy Jax drops in every now and again. I haven't seen a roadie in a while, but a few people always drop in on me and just say stuff to me, just say what's up. So like the fact that we have this many people in the chat, I really appreciate it, man. It's probably the most I've had in a while. I've been trying to go as much as I can per day. I think when like the frequencies and the whatever line up or begin to line up, like everything starts to yeah, everything just be working out. Like everything is just working out. Like Eternal Light showed up like after a long time and tapped in with me. Like it's really crazy. And like a lot of these hours that I'm trying to get to are making up for lost time. But this is what this is kind of what the work outside of work looks like right now. You know what I mean? This is work outside of work right now. You're most likely streaming later today. Doing an art stream, Chief. Yeah. And Cash, you see the blue and you see the wrench. You see the blue, you see the wrench. Cash artists, always tapped in with me, always checking in, and I know them in person. That's the biggest aspect. I know them in person, and we're tapped in real life. So it's my newest mod right there. Yeah, man. I mean, just whatever you see fit. Like I don't, I say this all the time. Like I let people in the chat do whatever and say they want, but then like I will always entertain the ignorant shit and the negative shit. I hate to say that I'm that way, but I'm always gonna kind of do that. The biggest aspect is like if you think something's getting out of hand or it's being disrespectful to other people that might be viewing it, I guess just moderate that. That's really what I allow people to be themselves in the chat, honestly. But some people go really far, and if you deem it to be something negative, like hey, do your thing with it. I trust your judgment. Anyone that make a mod, I just trust their judgment. Like and they've been tapped in with me for a while, so that's the way I look at it, Cash. And we've met, we actually know each other in person. The other people I haven't met, I just know them to be really good people online, and like their online presence is nothing but positive. Those are the other people I've met. Like my guy Jax, my guy Eternal. I think I made Tropical Empress one. AKA shout out to Amanda. Oh yeah, Cash, bro. I was I guess I'll say it right here. I how do I explain this? You might have seen it in the Discord. So Neo tagged me into this. Excuse me. There's a picture of me. There's a picture of me that someone took, and I always hold the launcher grip for Beyblade reverse style, reverse grip. And then Neo tagged someone um, in that photo for some reason, just tagged them and like added them, and then he added me, and then I just added him as a friend, and then we're trying to message back and forth. Long story short, I won't give out too much information. This guy lives in Europe, but this guy who lives in Europe helped develop the Chimera grip. So the Chimera grip that everybody uses, that like our community really uses, is like he he designs that. His name is Jack. That's what he goes by. I should say he goes by Jack, and like he's the guy that pretty much 3D prints a lot of stuff. And like literally, we get on, bro. We get on call, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna give you a heads up real quick. I'm autistic. I actually have Asperger's, so I just be saying shit, and sometimes I say things that are out of line. So I want to give you a warning, and feel free to call it out. And sometimes I might talk over you because there's a bit of a lag." Da, da, da. We were talking for a while. I was like, "Okay, okay, I get it. Cool, cool, cool. But what's going on?" So we're trying to develop a whole new launcher for the reverse grip, or just something that works with like the way I hold the launcher. Because the whole tournament, I just kept backhand gripping the launcher. It's like maybe we'll figure something out. So when that's developed, I want to reach out to people who are actually left-handed. So I want to like kind of help out the left-hand bladers, and then I have like two people in mind. Like I actually stole the reverse grip from my guy Sushi. Shout out to my guy Sushi Grade, then in Portland, the PDX Beyblade group. I stole the launch style from him because I was watching him play. I was like, bro, I don't understand why he plays like that. And I was just watching him. I was like, you know what? I'm about to start using this shit. Fuck that. So I started using it. I realized how much I can kind of shift left, right, back and forth, and kind of kick the elbow out and swing it a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I use computer mice with. Oh, really? Hold on. Yeah, because now you got to left click with your. That's so weird. That's crazy to think about. Are you left-handed, Cash? I just thought about that. I think yeah. Somebody there's a couple people I met who are left-handed. I know Lux is left-handed, so like I'm gonna try to. Maybe we'll develop a left-handed thing. We'll see. I just want to have something that's kind of interchangeable. I guess kind of more. When you think about the Beyblade X grips, they're kind of versatile with like hand placements. But the biggest thing that we're thinking about was these finger grooves. So again, I won't say too much, but I will say like now I have to doodle. I have to doodle out a couple of designs for what I think would work and like what might work with like hand placements and shit like that. So I'm gonna work on some things maybe a little later today and just send it to that guy and just we'll work on some things and then yeah, we'll see. And then yeah, who knows what the prices will be out. It's really up to his discretion as much as Neo's for the actual printing and pressing it up. That's a whole other conversation, but we'll see what goes on with that, man. Like it's gonna be in development, you know, sooner than later, obviously, because we're just gonna be working on it. Um, yeah, man. The amount of fire trucks today is crazy. I don't switch the click buttons though. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. So you're right clicking with your index, and then you're just regular left with your. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, I use PL instead of W. Oh, yeah, for PC games. That's exciting. I love to try it out. I didn't sign an NDA. Did you? Bro, you should watch me play NDA. What's the NDA? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we didn't say anything. I think I was just gonna mention it, but like there was so much being said by him that was kind of like, whoa, there's a lot of information, and then there was a lot of stuff that like he wanted my input on, and he was like, listen, I can't do this alone. I just need input and an example. And I was like, okay, I see what you're saying. So there was a lot that we spoke about that like I'm not really disclosing, but I'm like I want to surprise the world, I guess, with this non-disclosure agreement. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You should watch you play TF2. What's TF again? TF. But TF2. Gotta think about that. Let me know what TF2 is. Yeah, non-disclosure agreement, man. Let me know what TF2 is though. What was I gonna say? Uh, yeah, there was a lot of the information that wasn't really that I won't speak on, but I was like, this is crazy. Like this is crazy to think about the fact that he has this much. I don't say time and dedication, but like he's able to do this. TF2, Team Fortress. Oh, okay, okay. It's your favorite first-person shooter game from 2009. I still occasionally play online. Nice, nice. Okay. Let me know. Yeah, whenever you go live, I get the notifications for Twitch. It's crazy. My cousin's been going live like literally during Sakura Con. He was just live every day, and I'm like, bro, I can't. Like, I'm trying to like watch my surroundings and like film stuff, but these guys over here getting live, which is crazy. But there's a lot of fire trucks today. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Something else going on, but I can't wait for that stuff, man. Um, but anyway, I say all that to say like when before we even got into the talks, before I got into the talks with Jack, when he was just basically messaging me like, hey man, I want to develop a new launcher with your possibly with your grip style and like the way you play. And I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like the fact that he reached out to me for that. Um, I had to message my guy Sushi Grade right away, who's in Portland. I was like, listen, man, there's someone who's reaching out to me that created the Chimera grip, and or helped create it, I should say. And the fact that I was like, Sushi, the fact that I stole the reverse grip from you, like I'm gonna try to get two of them printed, and I hope you get one too. So I'm trying to get him one. And I asked him, I was like, what is your three favorite colors, Sushi? And then he sent me like different variations of styles he would make, and I was like, I got you. There it is. If we ever develop it, I'm gonna just create it, or I'm gonna have it sent it to him. I should say, excuse me, because I'm not gonna create nothing. I'm just input at this point. I'm just input. I don't know. I'm just doing input, which is crazy. But yeah, man. Yeah, buddy. Hey, everyone that's dropping in, I appreciate you guys dropping in. There's a lot of people in the chat. I appreciate it, man. Go ahead and double tap the screen, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that. Everything helps, man. Everybody that's here, man. If you double tap the screen, I really appreciate it. That's just leaving a like, I appreciate that. Thank you guys for dropping in. I appreciate it. Damn, I know. It's the most people I've had in a long time. It's in a long time. And they've actually stuck around, 40, 50 at a time is like very, yeah, it's wild. Where can we buy the Chimera grip? You would just have to message Neo, and I think Neo's charging about $25 for it. Because a lot of it is like it's the manufacturing thing right now of like using the 3D printing stuff, and then at the same time, because we know them in person, and if you go out to the events, they'll reach out or they'll see you, I should say. So yeah, the more you're around, the more they can access you, and then they'll just give you the grip. So 25, like some of the money goes to Jack, and then some of it goes to Neo for also buying the materials for actually producing and creating it, which is really nice. So we get to support people, like people that we actually know. Like we're not, it's not like we're supporting Hasbro or Takara Tomy. No offense to them, but we're actually supporting people we actually know, which is really good. So I think I've actually, I'm trying to think about this. I've technically paid for 3 Chimera grips as of now. Like I have my green one, I paid for the yellow one, my piss launcher, and then I also I put out a raffle gift because there was like 4 raffle gifts, and one of them was like an empty Drawn Buster box, and on the Drawn Buster I wrote on this index card, I said this box is empty. However, ask Neo for a Chimera grip, and I'll pay for it. So I paid for like 3 Chimera grips so far, and I'll be paying for more. Come in the future, I'll be paying for more. Um, yeah, with this new stuff that might be developed, we'll see. We will see. You know what I'm saying? We shall see. If you're looking into it, Cash, if you were to make a Chimera grip, do you know what colors you might pick or what you might choose? I think I don't know. I feel like next time I do one, I might do like a whale wave kind of theme one. You know what I'm saying? Like a mix of black and white and maybe the Baja colors, like something along those lines. Because whale wave is really my favorite blade at this point. It still is for some reason. Even with all the new CX stuff, and even then, I've tested the CX stuff a little bit here and there. It's like I still love whale wave. That's my favorite blade. I got whale wave colors right now. I got the Baja black. Come on, man. I got the whale wave colors, man. Bro, look at my shoes, man. Bam, put this up. All whale wave Baja blast colors. My shoes hella dirty. I've been wearing these for years. I don't know if I told y'all, but back in 2000, when I got fired in 2018, but I got hired again early 2019. Whale wave. Yeah, I'm saying, man. Baja colors, you know what I'm saying? But it's a whale wave kind of day. But 2019, I got this one job. But the year before, I ended up going to school at Renton Tech, and I had like a really nice, high-paying job at Virginia Mason before I got fired from there, or let go, I should say. And then I remember when I went to this new job, I was starting the new job, I started getting these checks, and then I started doing my income tax. Had like thousands of dollars or some shit. I can't remember what it was because they pay you so much more when you go to school and shit, and you have other responsibilities or whatever. Reimbursed, I should say. And it's really interesting because I spent all that money. I was like, listen, I want to buy hella shoes. This is 2019. I'm gonna buy hella shoes. Just like a lot of basketball players I like. So Dame Lillard, these are Dame Lillard shoes right here. I've been beating these shoes up for a while. I got some Kyries. I got some PGs. The Paul Georges. I got one pair of Hardens. I don't know. I just buy hella shoes, and I was like, I'm gonna buy hella these, and I'm gonna wear them for the next 10 years. And if they last for 15, fuck it, they last for 15. So like, I'm just trying to wear these shoes out till the very last end because people wait for like one little hole and then they throw their shoes away. And I'm like, honestly, man, I'm okay with just like if I have a rotation of like 9 or 10 shoes, well, I have a little more than that. If I have a rotation of shoes, then I can just keep wearing the shit out of them, and then the ones that get wear out the most get thrown away first. and that it just keep going down the line basically. So it's really interesting. Um, Cash, which whale wave do you have? I just thought about that. Do you have all three of them, or which I forgot which one you have? I always use the black one because that one helped me win, but I might have to switch up and use the whole whale gang at this point, bro. I might have to start doing that, which is what I started thinking about. But yeah, man, really interesting. Actually, you know what? The other aspect too is like I was wondering from like soccer. So like with Sakura Con, I didn't dress up, but I was just looking like me, and like I can't wait for you guys to see the vlog, man. You got the black one, excuse me, the black one only. You want the OG, so you're waiting for Hasbro. Yeah, man. That man, I can't wait for that Hasbro whale wave, bro. It's like $8 Elevate. Like you don't understand. People are paying $40 for sets just to have Elevate. People are paying $40, 35, anywhere from 30 to $40. Because Leon Claw, whatever, the yellow one has the yellow Elevate, but it's just like imagine getting it for $8 now. So I'm sure that whale is sold out. I bought the highest, which was 6. Like I need to do this, man. I gotta do it. You know what I mean? Cash, I was about to ask you, should I grab coffee? I don't need it. But if I grab it, I'm pretty much streaming all day. I'm pretty much streaming all day. Also, Cash, one of my friends was asking, like, if I use headphones, right? So if I use the headphones that have the microphone in it, can I use that for streaming? For the OBS? That was the other question. That was the more serious question. You managed to cop 2 green wizard rod? Yes, go. By the way, you're hoping to trade one of them and keep one to the side. So, see, that's what I try to do, man. Try to get 2 of everything. I swear to God, it's so nice to have 2 of everything. Let me check one thing real quick. Oh, we're doing good on time. But yeah, that's my thing right there. Hold on 1 second. There we are. There we are. Make sure it's not glitching. All right, we're back. That's my main thing, man. Like I try to get 2 of everything, 3 of everything, or like a headset. You should be if it's recognized by your machine. Okay. So, but it's like these are just Bluetooth headphones. Quinn, how's it going? Thank you for being here. Would you rather go to jail for 6 months or be forced to go back to preschool for 3 years? Go back to preschool. Am I the same age and height? Like, what the hell? If I'm the same age and height, I might go to preschool because I can get some apple juice and fruit snacks. You're not a coffee guy. Or you're not a coffee guy? Or that means a no, so I'm walking. That means no, so I'm walking. Um, I don't know. I guess if I'm the same height, I'm like in like age, I'm like I'm just gonna nap in the corner. You know what I mean? And just wait for snacks. I'll just eat fruit snacks and apple juice, and then wait to go home. But it's 3 years though, so that's kind of I don't know, man. 3 years is kind of rough. 3 years in preschool. Damn it. I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that one. Silverback gorillas or get freaky with a dog for 5 hours. I'm fighting the gorillas. What you mean? I'm fighting gorillas. You wouldn't trust Bluetooth? Okay, that makes sense. So maybe I have to buy a headset. So I should just buy a headset then. I'll buy a headphone headset. I don't know when, because I'm technically getting broker by the day since I have no income. So I'm gonna have to invest into a headset soon, sooner than later, at some point. And then yeah, we'll do it from there. I have a random Prime bottle. I have a random Prime bottle in my backpack, so I don't really need the coffee. I just need some, like I just like having something to drink on the side every now and again. Coffee, it was just gonna keep me up and like active and awake, pretty much. You might have a microphone you could honestly give away. You don't remember if it's a good one, but you could try finding and testing it. Oh yeah, let me know if you got it. I mean, the thing is, like, I would have to see when I'm sitting at the library. I would have to set it up like that. You know what I mean? That's the issue because when I'm playing the game, I'm usually not at home. I'm usually at the library. That's the issue. How's it going, Riley Bird? Thank you for being here. You're gonna need to give me time to test it if it's a good mic. Plus, if I even have it in your room. Oh yeah, I'm not worried. Either way, if you got it to give away, let me know. I will gladly take. That's the other thing. I'm at the library. Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing. So I'm like, because the Wi-Fi connection at the house is trash until I get a hotspot. And even then, the hotspot, like, just my particular room, and like my room's gonna give me the most privacy, which is what I need for the gaming and comfortability for the gaming. But the biggest issue was like, bro, I'm trying to have good connectivity, and it's just for some reason, whether it's the building in the way or just some other shit, it just doesn't be working out. But that's a whole other thing. You sub Riley Bird, I appreciate it. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate that. Really, really love and appreciate when people do that and let me know. You know. Yeah, man. Walking past my old high school here, man. Before I get to the library, walking past the old high school. You know, when I first got here, it's really interesting. My first freshman year was actually when they finally did the remodeling, or when it finished, I should say. So when they finished remodeling, that's when our freshman year started. Because I thought we were gonna have to go bus all the way north to Lincoln. Ended up not being the case. Ended up not being the case. Excuse me. But yeah, man. Good times, man. Every now and again, I would still run on the field though. I would still run the track. I might have to start doing that again. I need to start getting back to running. Realistically, I need to get back to training in general. I gotta get back to working out. I was out of breath. I can't remember what I was doing this weekend. I was doing something. I got a little out of breath. I was like, damn, what the fuck? It's been a while. But yeah. Yeah, Cash, don't worry about it, man. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not too worried about it. I appreciate it either way, man. You know, I might just get a little janky little headset, you know, with the it's like headphones, but then it has a mic or whatever. Yeah. I also can't wait because like, you know, I'm doing the little vlog and the footage of Sakura Con 2025 and me, you know. I think I wrote down it's a Beybladers vlog because it's me as a Beyblader going to my first Sakura Con. And that's the only reason why I'm going is for the Beyblade tournament. But I wanted to see and experience what the convention was all about. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's this convention all about? And yeah, just for my first time or whatever, you know, I just want to see what it's all about. And it did not disappoint, man. It did not disappoint at all. Like, that was pretty good. So you guys are gonna see that tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, whatever time zone you guys are on. You know, go ahead and you'll see it on my channel. If you go on my channel, you'll see there's a video that's premiering tomorrow on Wednesday. Wednesday, you know, you scroll through, there's a video premiering. Excuse me, April 23rd, 5 p.m. Pacific. You know, you probably find it and just save it to your watch later or just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or put a notification bell on it if you want to check that out. It's actually like 50 something minutes. It's about 50 minutes, something like that. I was trying to make it an hour long video, you know, but I only got about, when I trimmed all the fat, got rid of all the unnecessary stuff, it really only amounted to about 50 minutes of stuff. Just me standing in line for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If I wasn't standing in line, I was talking about my badge. If I wasn't talking about the badge that I had, then I was speaking about the you know. So check that out, man. You guys, you know, all the people that are in the chat, I appreciate all the people in the chat. Just go, you'll see it tomorrow. But if you go on the if you go on my channel, you will find it'll be a premiere for my first time at SoccerCon. That's the video, and it's coming out tomorrow. It's gonna drop tomorrow. It's gonna premiere tomorrow, 5 p.m. If you guys want to check that out, that's pretty much what I've been really working on this whole weekend. That's why I wasn't going live at all. But you guys will find it, you know. Yeah, man, it was just crazy because I thought at first I was like, maybe I'll just go Saturday. Maybe Saturday I'll just go check out, you know, the Beyblade tournament and just go home because I was like, I'm not like the biggest fan of like certain or like not certain, but like of like watching multiple animes at the same time and mangas. I have what I have and I have what I grew up on. You know what I mean? So I knew certain references and I knew stuff that my niece would tell me, my brother would tell me, things like that. But other than that, it was like I you know had a good ass time because you run into people who, even if like you don't understand what they're wearing or what they're cosplaying, you know, you kind of just like I get this person, I understand this individual, like going this deep into the fandom and representing it for them, and also like adopting, you know, whether that be the character's personality or whatever, or like the fact that they related to it. There's something to that. There's something that comes out of that. You know what I mean? There's something that comes from that, I should say. So that was really a good thing, really good thing to witness and observe. Because you know, it's really interesting. During my time period, I'm not saying there wasn't any cosplayers. Obviously, there was, but to this degree that we're in now, like the era that we're in now, bro, it's a little different. It's a lot more commonplace. Back then, you had to be a very part of a very niche group of people that were kind of not afraid to express themselves. And even then, that was hard to come by. You know what I mean? That was really hard to come by. So that's a whole another story in of itself. Um, I say this all the time. I was talking to Z I was talking to Z and his wife, and I remember we are talking about actually his wife said something funny. She said something like, "Yeah, we crawled so they can run." This is also true because when I was in high school, I was like bumping. I had a friend. Shout out to my guy Malik. I know him since first grade, but he was always ahead of his time, and like he's the type of dude that was rocking skinny jeans, but then also like sagging the skinny jeans and shit. You know what I'm saying? But he would be listening to all these Japanese OSTs. You know what I'm saying, from the fucking animes and mangas would put him on to like Orange Range and Duran Gray, Larkin Ciel. All these bands. So he was listening to all these Japanese bands, and back then he would basically introduce them to us. He would just play it, like he would just be playing them in the background, and eventually we would be like, "Bro, what is this? What is this?" And he would just tell us what it was, and we just got put onto new music. That's just the type of person he was. So we were the only kids in the neighborhood, and we're in the hood, smack in the hood. We're the only ones. Let's go. We're the only ones skateboarding and listening to Japanese music, and then like wearing things that kind of relate to anime, like not necessarily cosplaying all the way, but shit that relates to it. You know what I'm saying? Only people doing that shit at the time. 2008, 2009, and we're in. You understand? We're born and raised, or at least I am born and raised in Seattle. This is as nerdy and this is as bubble, like protective, whatever as it gets. You know what I'm saying? So people can kind of live and express themselves a bit. And we was doing that early, but we in the hood of here. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers was looking at us, talking to us a certain way. We was like, we didn't give a damn. We said, bro, it's what we fuck with. At least we ain't destructive to our own people and whatever, bro. We ain't. So like I'm the type of person I'll draw the line with somebody real quick. I'm like, man, all that shit you represented is just like some self destruction, bro. Ain't no shade to it because I get what you got to do, but at the same time, it's like I'm over here just doing some nerd shit. What you tripping on? Go find some fucking self esteem within yourself to be honest about what it is you like. You know what I'm saying? Some people get real defensive about a little bit of everything. People get mad when they start seeing shit like it could be anything from someone wearing a different team. But I don't know about this person wearing this. I'm wearing Seattle. I don't want to see someone wearing no Bengals stuff, no 49er stuff. Some people get real defensive about unnecessary things. Hold on. All right. All right. Thank you, man. Shit. Yeah, some people will sit there and get real defensive about certain things that pertain to real life, but a lot of them is like they have a hard time feeling solid about like, hey, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of your city's team and then being a fan of another player from another team and wearing another person's jersey. But in that same regard of like real life and sports, I feel the same way where it's like there's cross intersectionality of people who play basketball on a hoop, but then they love Naruto. There was a dude who came out with the silent basketball. I bought 1, 2, and 3. The silent basketball 1. I bought silent basketball 2.0. I bought silent basketball 3.0. And this is someone who loves basketball, and he collabed with Naruto and the Boruto thing. And you could buy his gear and buy his merch. I don't know if it's still up, but it's called like In the Lab. You know what I'm saying? So you can buy his shit. So I'll say this again. This goes back to the whole spectator space. Thank you for dropping in. And it's like, yeah, that goes back to the whole thin line between logic and hate, man. I think about this a lot of times. Me growing up, it's like we grew up in a space and area like this. A lot of times people just question like what's wrong with you, but it's like again your whole logic of thinking, yeah, this shit doesn't pertain to real life, and you see certain people nerd out and they have the privilege and the money to sometimes. It's like it'll make you feel a certain way. So I thought I was gonna feel a certain way when I entered this space of like Sakura Con. When I got there, I realized how much it's like this is what happens when you have actual families that have, I don't want to say all of them because there's certain people, right? But you have certain families of kids that are being nurtured for what it is that they love. And that thing that they love is less self-destructive than other things that they can get involved with. You know what I mean? Um, People that have grew up in fortunate households, this is what it looks like. So I want to get used to seeing that. Excuse me, it's hella noise. Benedict, how you doing, Benedict? What's going on? I almost forgot that like the mic actually cancels out most of the noises at a distance, and you guys can hear me clearly. I forget about that sometimes, but yeah, I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is I'm able to visualize and see things from a perspective that I couldn't imagine, and like I would actually hesitate to enter spaces like that, whether that be like a Sakura Con other conventions where it's like things that kind of cross integrated with my own interests. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it was like, as much as I'm interested, as much as I like Beyblade, as much as I like anime or manga or video games, as much as I like certain things, I don't always like the people who are like fans of it because their whole life is based around it and they have the privilege to enjoy these things, which I didn't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Almost had to sacrifice time that I would normally spend. Like I'll spend like people have hours that they can spend enjoying video games and stuff like that. Not saying that I never did, but I would sacrifice those hours that I should have spent enjoying it just to live life or just make some money or something. Go ahead and hustle something up because you got to live, right? So part of me made me think if I enter them spaces that I wouldn't get along with these people who. Does that make sense? So that's where I started to draw the line. But again, what I'm trying to say is when I entered Sakura Con the other day, when I started to come out to these events, these spaces of Beyblade, these family spaces, family oriented spaces, you realize that they find this common thing, and that's really hard to find, man. It's really hard to find. Like or excuse me, it used to be hard to find, but now it's like the fact that it's more commonplace really amazes me. It really yeah, it inspires me a bit, man. It draws me towards it a little more. Like I think I've gotten rid of enough. I don't know how you say, but I've gotten rid of enough. I don't know what the word is, bro. Normalizing negativity kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten rid of that a lot of times enough to just kind of let me know, like, you know what? I understand what to gravitate towards now. Things that kind of do more to aid me and add more pluses and positivity to my life than more negative shit. So I understand. I see shit for what it is, man. You know what I mean? It's not really either or. It's like it's more of like at least it's this. At least it's more inspirational. At least it's more positive than it is negative and practical. So that goes to my whole thing where it's like that thin line between hate and logic. I don't even stay on that spectrum too much anymore. It's there for a reason, but I don't sit there and reason with people. That's a whole longer conversation, man. We might have to speak about that a little more later on, but I don't know, man. I'm very disappointed in like the older I get, I'm very disappointed in certain adults that were trying to teach and raise me. But I also don't hold it against them for being who they were. They were just damaged people too. And they didn't know how to handle the damage well, unfortunately, man. Say free Palestine. Yo, free Palestine, man. Free Palestine. I actually had two friends from there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Fawad. I think that was his name. He was actually a filmmaker, I believe. Actually, yeah, there was like two or three. I met one dude who actually had a safe. I just said it, Sauce. I just said it, bro. I don't know why you making these demands. I don't know you over here making these demands, bro. Have you ever been there or met anyone from there? I'll say that much, man. You better have. With your name, I'm assuming so. That's my assumption. But don't make this chat about you. Don't ever make the chat about you, and don't ever be demanding like that. I don't know what's wrong with you. As I agree with you in freeing Palestine. I think they need to be free, bro. Because I knew like two people from over there. But just be mindful of how you're chatting to people. You know what I'm saying? I can't check your tone because I don't know. It's just typing. But just be mindful of that shit. Take that shit somewhere else. Matter of fact, do your own live and do your own content that pertains to it. Hopefully you do. You know what I'm saying? If you want that to be known and put out there, because you're gonna make it about yourself. But now that we got that out the way, man, shout out to my guy. I think his name was Fawad. He was a filmmaker from Palestine, and it was interesting because he's specifically from was that Gaza? No, was he in Gaza? I forget exactly where he was at. Is Gaza, West Bank, or some shit? I forget exactly. But he's from somewhere over there. But we had two people. There's one girl. She's from Israel, and I tell her story all the time. I won't give out her name, but when we were like we all met in Poland, like in Warsaw, Poland, for this thing. It was like Nobel Peace Laureates in Poland. I forget a year that was, 2012, 2013, and she would talk about how it's mandatory to be in the war, like to be drafted and trained. And the interesting part about it was like they were like, so did you ever sign up or did you ever get put into the army? She was like, no, because even though it's mandatory, I had to pretend. This is her words. She said I pretended to be retarded. Like I remember there were times where like I would kind of like try to hit myself in the head, try to make myself feel like maybe this is actually going to dumb me down, or I'd have to act a certain way, or I'd have to act incompetent, or like I didn't have any motor skills. I guess that's the way she kind of described it, in order to just not be recruited by the army or to not be in training. And they're like, well, why? Obviously the conversation was like, well, so why did you go that far? She's like, well, I just don't want to. I don't want to go to war at all for any reason. I don't think we should be fighting any country. That's just her thought. She's an Israeli girl, man. She was born and raised in Israel, and this is her thought process, man. And that's how she felt. So it's like the fact that those two were existing in the same space and rooms together, part of different branches of organizations. Because this organization, it was like a, how do you explain, like a Quaker organization that had roots and branches in different parts of the world, different parts of the country here, but also different parts of the world. That's how I met my guys in Baltimore. Free my guy Wahid. But yeah, those two were existing in the same room, same space, the same table together. An Israeli girl and a guy from Palestine. And it's just like I've been learning about that shit since like damn like early middle school, bro. Like, and that it rubbed a lot of us the wrong way. Rubbed a lot of us the wrong way. The fact that it's starting to come to light and showing itself now is crazy. And I will say another thing was in 20, I forget what year this was, 2013, 14, something like that. We had a dude who came in and he was this is like early. He was selling these books and merch pertaining to Palestine. So I actually ended up getting a bracelet with the Palestinian flag on it. It was like a long time ago. I threw it in the wash, dried it, and then I was wearing it again. But I don't wear it right now because it's like I have too many layers on, so you're not gonna be able to see it anyway. But maybe when it gets warmer, I'll start wearing it again. But I was gonna say, but also when it gets warmer, I don't want to mess up my like a random wrist hand. But we'll see. That's some funny shit. But yeah, it's really cool. That dude was selling these books, and a lot of the stories in the books pertain to they live a different type of life over there. People got to be mindful. I'm gonna always speak on behalf of that shit because there was these kids. One of the storylines and one of the passages in the books, because it was assorted stories and poems from people in Palestine, but a lot of it was just stories. And one of them was this kid who when he was a kid, but like growing up, he was telling a story. He was like, I'm gonna leave it at this. He goes, yeah, me and my friends, it was like 30 kids, it was like 20, 30 kids, and we would all play. All of our families, we live in these broken down buildings, abandoned buildings and whatnot in the city. And in the middle of between the buildings and the apartments, there's like a kind of like a field or like a little dirt, whatever, like a dirt opening. And him and all of his friends would just sit there and just play soccer with each other. I don't know if they had an actual proper ball, but they would sit there and play and stuff. And like they would play, and then like there's one, they play every day. There's one day where the kids go, "Come on, let's play," and he's like, "I don't know, I have a headache. I feel kind of sick." So this is the guy who's writing the story. He's like, "I feel kind of sick. I have a headache." And mind you, at the time he was like 6 or 7. And I'm feeling a little sick. I don't know. He's like, "Well, you want to play? You're feeling sick?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stay home." So he stays home. He stays inside. Him being inside the building, like the little apartment building, normally like every day, every week they hear bombs and they hear missiles and shit. This fucking bomb and missile hits and it kills like damn near most of the kids that were playing soccer that day. It either hits the building or it hits the field area where the kids were playing, and then the fucking yeah, like majority of his friends die. So he happens to be sleeping through it, but then he gets rocked and shaken by the like the missile because it was so close or whatever. So he says like throughout the whole week, a lot of people looked at him differently because it's like, bro, you could have been out here. It's like one, it was like you could have been out here today, but like, oh, here you are alive because you decided to sleep in. You decided to. So they hold a different type of it's fucked up, man. I don't know how to explain. I don't know what the word is, bro. It's a fucked up different kind of thing where it's just like all of his friends and his friends' families of the kids that died and the other people, they were just sitting there like, oh yeah, this is the guy here that he wasn't out there with his friends alongside his friends because he wanted to sleep in. Like it was like I don't know how to explain it. It was a different type of interaction that he said he had grown up. He was like the whole time he was carrying guilt for not being out there with his friends playing soccer with them, but on the other hand, here he is alive. But at the other hand, like these other people feel bad because I don't want to say that they were guilt tripping him, but they were just like, bro, it's just crazy. I don't know. It's a whole nother. It's a longer conversation, bro. It was a long. I don't know, man. We sat there in the little conference with them for like 2-3 hours, kind of just whatever, trying to learn shit and spread knowledge about what was going on over there. How you doing, Sarah? AKA, what's my guy's name, bro? Ben. Is that Ben using Sarah's account? But yeah, man. That shit was a little crazy, bro. That shit was a little crazy right there. But they had, I think I got the book somewhere. I don't know if I bought the book. I bought the bracelet. Couldn't afford it though. What's going on, Ben? But yeah, man, that shit's a little crazy. I'm gonna leave it at that though, man. I need to get inside, use the bathroom, and then I'm gonna, get a little something to drink, and then from there, just get rocking. Just get rocking from here, man. Get this Monster Hunter in. I need to get another hour in because my guy Solarian added me to his group, and they're like a higher HR hunter rank. I gotta get my rank up. So yeah, let me get up in here, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. We're out, man. Where are, bro? What? Hey, listen, just come into the next live. I'm gonna do another live in a second. All right, bro. I'm gonna do another live. Don't worry about it. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.